A wonderful, wonderful day to all of you watching. I'm your host, Paul Aaron Reformado, and I welcome you to Polaris, the best talk show that truly captivates you with its unique blend of educating whilst entertaining at the same time. This week's topic is one that you probably have heard of, had done in the past, and or have been on the receiving end. It is all about a trait of Filipinos that can truly irritate someone, especially if it is an important occasion. This trait is the infamous Filipino time that we will tackle later on. To provide you insights about this topic, we invited Mr. Akira Dizon, who is an essayist, author, and poet. He wrote a weekly column in Rappler.com on gender issues, culture, politics, and immigration from 2012 to 2017. Akira currently works in the financial industry. But before we meet the guest, let's first watch this short clip.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. Is everybody here?
No, Bilen's not here yet.
Again? Hold on, let me call him.
Hello? I'm sorry, I'm running late again. Just to do something real quick. I'm on my way.
There you go again with your excuses. It's been your fifth time this year. Are you trying to set a new world record?
I'm sorry, okay? I tried my best.
Well, your best is not good enough, and you need to step up.
Now, I'm sure that most of us can relate to experiencing what we just saw. And I'm not gonna act like I'm flawless, and I do have to admit that I've done that to a couple of times. But hey, I'm improving, so you gotta give props to that. Now, Mr. Akira Dizon, come on out. There she goes.
Hi everyone! Good day, Mr.
Hello.
Reformado.
Hello, Mr. Akira. Welcome to Polaris. Thank you for accepting our request to be with us here today. It is a great, great pleasure to meet you and have a glimpse of your creative mind firsthand.
The pleasure's all mine, Mr. Reformado. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I'm just curious, Mr. Akira. How was your day so far?
Pretty good actually. I'm this close to learning a new song on the guitar.
Oh, I'm glad that you feel that way. As you know, Mr. Dizon, we've prepared some questions we'd love you to answer from your award-winning essay, Can We Get Rid of the Filipino Time?
Sure, let's get started.
All right, excellent. So, let's start. Were there past instances wherein you were late or others were late in an important event that included you?
Yeah, actually, there was this one time where I was recently reminded of Filipino time when a Filipino friend who had just moved to New York sent me a text message 10 minutes before our 3 p.m. meeting time to say that she was just leaving from her home an hour and a half away. I was already waiting for her at our meeting spot, so my wife and I just rolled our eyes and shrugged and said, "Ah, Filipino talaga," which means truly Filipino in Tagalog.
Oh, yeah. So, you mentioned Filipino time. So, what does the term Filipino time actually came from?
Well, that actually has multiple answers. One not really more correct than the other. Some references date the origins of the term Filipino time back to the Spanish period when Filipino Indios were asked to appear at gatherings 30 minutes to an hour later than their Spanish colonizers. In other parts of the world, also have their own relaxed nature when it comes to time. So we are not really unique in this predicament. And apparently, how different cultures approach time greatly influences their citizens' punctuality. Spanish and Italian cultures, for example, understand time as a guideline and not a fixed point. And definitely, sorry, not something that is expendable.
Oh, so it's really a thing. How does one develop their willingness to, arrive on time?
I believe that it'd be by what's the word? By setting an example or consequences to tardiness. Like this one time actually, when I was little, my whenever my family and I were going on a trip together, my father would set a timer for us to get ready and be in the car by that time. Once the timer was up and we were late, the car would drive off without you. It was ingrained in me and my siblings at a very young age that there are consequences to tardiness, and if you are even 3 seconds late, you will get left behind.
No, that's a fun fact, Mr. Akira, from your family. So, what can you say about punctuality in workplaces?
One's concept of time isn't as evident as it is in the workplace or in business settings. For example, in the office, unless there is a punctual manager to implement them, rules about being punctual in the office, sorry, rules about being on time will fail. Nobody wants to show up on time when the punctual person will only end up waiting for the rest to arrive. Like all management directives, the initiative must come from the top. In a way, this all just circles back to when Filipinos were colonized by the Spaniards and when they weren't setting a good example as their bosses were constantly being late.
Okay, thank you for that, Mr. Akira. Of course, do you have tips on how to improve punctuality?
I got a few actually. Number one is to install a clock. Hang one above the doorway where everyone can see the late person coming in. Peer pressure works well for tardiness because it is shameful to appear like a slacker when everyone else is there to witness it. Number two is to accept no excuses for tardiness. Treat lateness as an offense that is a result of irresponsibility. Do not accept one excuse over the other. Like for example, that there's traffic, no driver, or no train. The truth is, save for the real emergency. All lateness is a result of bad preparation or poor time management. And lastly, number three is that consequences exist. Punctuality is the most visible indicator of one's commitment to their job. If there are no firm penalties for tardiness, it sends a message that punctuality is not a priority for the company.
Thank you for that, Mr. Akira. And do you agree that being on time is a personal commitment?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wholeheartedly do so. You see, whether in a professional or personal setting, a tardy person disrespects everyone's else's effort to be on time. That person disregards the time others spend waiting for them and is inconsiderate of their commitments. Unfortunately, this commitment is oftentimes not followed fully through by most, but I know someday Filipinos will soon overcome this Filipino time and learn self discipline and committing to showing up in time.
Thank you so much for that, Mr. Akira. With that question, this ends our little Q&A for you, Mr. Dizon. We acquired a lot of knowledge and useful insights and eye-opening as well. Thank you for sharing your intellect and, hopefully you can come back to our talk show in the future to provide more information for the audience.
Thank you as well for inviting me here today, Mr. Reformado.
And thank you, Mr. Dizon, for spending some of your time with us to share your knowledge on this topic.
Bye bye.
Goodbye, Mr.
Bye,
Akira.
everyone.
Thank you so much. As we all know, Filipino time is truly a notion that us, Filipinos, should never aspire to be labeled as. Instead of it is being defined as being late, we should strive for it to be turned upside down and be defined as Filipinos being on time. But wait, we didn't finish the clip before the interview, right? If that's the case, then let's watch the resolution of the conflict between the friend group.
Hey guys, I'm sorry for being late again. We could have accomplished a lot in that hour, but it was wasted. This is your last chance, Jerry. I know I was careless, but...
Of course you were. You always are. It's always the same damn excuse every time. Are you even trying at this point?
Yes, I'm sorry. I really am, okay? I acknowledge that I've been a jerk and always making up excuses, but I'm serious this time.
Promise?
Promise.
Conflicts are resolved through communicating with each other honestly and open-mindedly. In this context, the consequences of being late must be accepted in order to make someone accountable for their actions. Just like what Mr. Dizon stated earlier, we should treat lateness as an offense that is a result of irresponsibility. Do not make any excuses as all lateness is due to bad preparation or poor time management. On that note, this concludes our endeavor today. Well, folks, it's time to wrap up the show. Once again, I'm your host, Paul Aaron Reformado, and this has been Polaris, the show that truly captivates you with its unique blend of educating whilst entertaining at the same time. Thank you all for tuning in and have a fantastic day ahead. See you next time.
This talk show is brought to you by Regain. Are you and your partner experiencing constant arguments? Is your relationship not in a good condition? Do you think that your emotional needs are not being met? Then you're fortunate because you came to the right advertisement. Here in Regain, we have to overcome challenges that arise during a course of a partnership. Maintaining a healthy romantic relationship requires work, and we guide you on how to do so. We offer a psychologist-developed, research-backed, faith-driven, and empathic-guided assessments for the best possible results to have a stable, fulfilling in relationships. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now to www.regain.com.
No matter what happens, I love you no matter what.
I'm not even sure when your time comes.